Hi everyone, this is the review of the Voigtlander 15mm 4.5, and that's the Mark III version of the lens. So here I have it attached to the Sony A7 Mark II camera via a Leica M to E mount adapter here. This thing costs about $10 on Amazon, and I would highly recommend it. So basically what this lens is a manual focus lens that is super wide angle, so it's 15 millimeters. Typically, you would consider 16 to 35 as pretty wide angle already, but this goes even 1 millimeter further. And it is manual focus with manual aperture ring out in front. It's manufactured by Cosina, and that's actually the same manufacturer used by Zeiss lens. So it's a top-notch build quality. It feels like a chunk of metal, literally, and it is pretty hefty for its size, but it definitely exudes this quality feel to it, such as when you turn the focus ring, it is very smooth and it hits the stops right on the infinity mark. So basically, in terms of build quality, I would rate it at a 9 out of 10. And right now, there is a shortage of prime wide-angle lens for the Sony mount camera, or even the Leica M mount cameras. Now this particular lens from Voigtlander 15mm 4.5 has gone through 3 revisions already. The first version was, I believe, a screw mount version. The second one was an M mount, and actually looked quite different than this one. And I used that one for a while as well, but it tended to give these magenta casts from one side to the other. So the left side will be purple and the right side will be green. And those are very hard to remove in pictures. And the reason is it was designed for film cameras and not digital sensors, because the rear element would hit so close to the sensor plane that the angle of incidence would be so sharp there would be casts of color. So what they did in the third version of this, which was introduced in 2015, I believe, is they made it a little larger. So they brought the elements out, and that decreased the angle to the sensor. And it basically got rid of the color cast issue for digital sensors, such as on the A7 and the M240 for the Leica. And when I shot it with this, it's not just the color cast that's gone, but also the corners are sharper. And that is really nice, because now you have this portable prime lens for a 15mm kind of focal length, and you can carry it with you everywhere without feeling dragged down. The alternative of this for the E-mount right now is a 16 to 35mm, or if you get the 28mm and use adapters on it. And both of them are pretty bulky. And I traveled with them before, and you're almost hesitating to bring them out of the camera bag because the lens is so large. For this guy, it's no problem because it's so small. Now, one thing you do lose is the ability to autofocus, but that's actually not an issue. As you can see here, even at 4.5 aperture setting, the distance scale can show you're in focus from less than a meter to infinity. So because the lens is so wide angled, the depth of field is very large, and when you go to f8, essentially everything is in focus. So here from infinity all the way down to 0.5 meters. And this scale may or may not be totally accurate, but from my experience, it's very easy to have everything in focus. So it's literally just press the shutter button and shoot. You don't even have to focus most of the time, unless you're shooting something that is very close by or doing macro. But macro with a wide angle lens is not a typical thing people do. So I wouldn't worry about this manual focus lens. If you own one manual focus lens, this can be it, and it's very unintimidating. So basically, it's a high quality lens for wide angle pictures, and it's built for the new generation of cameras using digital sensors, and I really have no bad thing to say about it. The price is around $700, and this is that time of the video. It is a little steep. It's about twice of what the version 2 is. So if you own, say, the A7S or the A7R Mark II, you may get by with the version 2 of this lens because those sensors have less tendency to have color casts due to the way the photo sites are designed. But for the A7 Mark II, you definitely would need the Mark III of the 15mm lens, because I've tried the Mark II on the A7 Mark II and it does not look very good. Now, in terms of the image quality, lines are very straight, so there's almost no distortion, which is quite incredible for such a wide angle lens. There is a lot of vignetting, so the corners are about 1 to 2 stops, maybe even more darker than the center, but that does give you this dramatic effect that you may want anyway. And of course you can get rid of those relatively easily in post-processing. So all in all, not much to complain about this lens, and I would say if you own an A7 series of camera, or if you're like a shooter, I would wholeheartedly recommend the Voigtlander 15mm f4.5 Mark III. That's quite a mouthful, but hopefully you found this video useful, and please like and subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.